what's up? Bob here. Welcome to the Bob Bradley YouTube channel. Today I thought I would come on and talk to you guys about a show that I recently attended at the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame in Owensboro, Kentucky, and the accompanying record that is out that the artists were touring on. Yeah, that's right. Of course, talking about bluegrass cultural phenomenon Billy Strings and possibly one of the finest flat pickers on earth, Bryan Sutton. They put out a record. Looks just like this. Bam. This is Billy Strings and Bryan Sutton live at the Legion. That's an American Legion post 82. Pretty cool. Album was recorded April 7th of 2024. It bears this reprise high fidelity badge here. I've never seen that before. Pretty cool. This particular variant is on a black and clear splatter. More about that in a moment. Fantastically recorded album. The show was amazing. First of all, visiting the Bluegrass Hall of Fame. Very cool. There was a Jerry Garcia exhibit going on, which was nice to see some of the instruments that Jerry played during Riders of the Purple Sage and Old Men the Way, and just not the typical Tiger Rosebud guitars that we all see all the time. It was nice to see some of his other instruments, his acoustic instruments, no doubt. That said, there was also a John Hartman exhibit there, which was fantastic. I was having just a great time all around. There's a riverfront there that is extremely beautiful. Owensboro, still a very small, quaint town, very nice. This record, I think it was about $42 at the show. I had a choice between the splatter and the black vinyl.
Sucker.
Yeah, me. Yeah. Should have got the black, I think. If you're an audiophile, it's not that this sounds bad. This sounds incredible. I just don't think the pressing quality is probably as high as the black. I don't have any real data to back that up. I just know this. The splatter one, there's some issues with this. It's a little, it's not warped at all. But I would say there were some pressing anomalies that happened. Like I think the edge has got a little bit of a kink to it where they cut it off and stuff. But it's fine. That said, it doesn't sit right with me. But let's get back to the material here. Sounds amazing. If you've ever wondered what two ancient Martin D28s sound like, this is the place to hear that. Yeah, they're both playing pre-war Martin D28s. If you don't know, the ones that were made before the war are the best. Listen, when it comes to instruments, we can argue all day long about tone woods and things like that. But when it comes to acoustic instruments, there's no argument. The older, the better. Yeah. I'm assuming they've been properly maintained and are in playing condition. Preferably top playing condition. Yeah. This record is a double LP with a kind of heavy cardstock gatefold. Features tunes from Blaze Foley, like Cold Cold World, Don't Think Twice by Bob Dylan, traditionals like Groundhog, and bluegrass standards like Salt Creek. Cannot go wrong here. Some nice vocals, excellent playing. They keep it very, very direct and kind of in the format of like two buddies jamming together, singing some tunes, like a impromptu bluegrass jam around the fire, I would say that this is obviously heavily influenced by the work of Doc and Merle Watson and the way that they did their shows and the presentation on their records. There's lots of Doc Watson stuff on here, tunes that Doc played regularly, like Nashville Blues and things like that. So this is a no-brainer if you're into acoustic music, if you're into bluegrass. Bluegrass comes around every so often. We had, an 80s resurgence, a 90s resurgence with Nickel Creek, and, even early 2000s again with Chris and the Punch Brothers. And then Billy comes into the scene and he's opening up the door for all sorts of people like Molly Tuttle and Sierra Hull. So This is incredibly awesome. And this goes without saying, guys like Bela and Sam Bush and Jerry Douglas and all those guys are still out and they're playing great. So go see some bluegrass. Go to the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum if you can. And definitely check out Billy Strings and Bryan Sutton live at the Legion. Yeah, really, really cool record. Got more stuff coming. Stay tuned. And until we meet again, bob out.